Never make eye contact with someone whilst eating a banana.
I've got coconut in my soup. Do you remember? Yours looks crazy.
No,
What
that's
happened?
crazy.
Hi, I'm Keke Palmer.
I'm Jack Whitehall.
And we're at New York Times cooking my famous sweet potato pancakes.
Oh, I made
my
my way too
God.
big!
How often do you make it?
Maybe once or twice a week when I'm looking for something that's sweet.
I can do it with one hand.
You can.
Oh no, I thought I could. I thought I could.
But a little bit nutritious. I really do try to keep it on my healthy tip as best as I possibly can. And I'm a big pancake freak. That's the thing I forgot to note to you guys. This is not a regular pancake.
Now she tells me.
Before today, have either of you cooked for each other?
I cooked for you that one time.
When did you cook?
You know.
Yes, she did. Yeah, she cooked for me every day on set. Just brought in fresh produce.
Yes.
Just whipped up something nice and healthy every day.
What was your favorite meal?
We ate Gwyneth Paltrow's goop every day of production.
Honestly,
We're bougie.
Do you like to cook?
I like to cook. I like to cook when I have time. I always make a breakfast item, but I do make also a nice gluten-free cornbread. You're starting to see the consistency here. No gluten. I love making stews. You know, I can definitely make a mean chili.
I do cook quite a lot. In fact, during the pandemic, I very briefly became a food blogger.
Oh my gosh!
I had a little Instagram handle called Food Slut, and I made all manner of decadent dishes and put on about 10 stone.
No matter how many times I've made something, I definitely always have my ingredient list next to me because I like to make my measurements perfectly and just, you know, remember the recipe and save it so I can pass it along, you know what I mean? So we're gonna start with gluten-free flour.
Right, is there anything I should be doing?
Yeah, I think so.
Can I be readying anything?
Let me get that sweet potatoes going.
Have you done the viral sweet potato where you shove a knob of cheese in it?
No. What does it do?
That is
That's
a thing,
it?
right?
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
I've seen something like
You
that.
just shove a piece of cheese in it and it melts. We could maybe do one with a banana.
Yeah, no
Set a new
thanks.
trend.
What's your favorite thing to eat?
I love eggs.
I love eggs. Do you remember that? That was so iconic. I love Amanda Bynes. Please, Amanda, please. I'm gonna do like a little teaspoon of ground cinnamon. What was your favorite show growing up?
True Jackson VP.
You
Is
were
the
so ready
correct
for that.
answer.
You were so ready for that. I should have known.
See, look, I'm doing it with a banana.
1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon.
Then you just shove it in like that, and then it melts a bit, and there it is, the viral sweet potato.
Oh my gosh. Pinch of nutmeg. See, this is what happens. I'm
It's all
cooking
right.
in the kitchen,
Sorry.
he's playing in the kitchen.
Okay.
We have the teaspoon of baking powder, and then we have 1/4 teaspoon of the salt, 1 banana in there.
Okay.
And then you're gonna put the
That's a satisfying noise,
mash
isn't
them
it?
in. It's like very like,
Yeah.
and then there's the masher.
Yeah.
How do you say masher?
Masher.
Masher.
You say masher.
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 What is the most British word ever?
Bangers is pretty for sausage.
Bangers.
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 and mash.
Bangers and mash.
This is the only culinary tip my dad ever gave me.
What?
Never make eye contact with someone whilst eating a banana.
It's suddenly
Let's go
seductive.
through.
Woo!
It's too much.
It's getting spicy in here, Jack. It's getting spicy. Okay, so now I'm just waiting on you, and I think you
Sorry.
need me.
Okay. Oh, wow.
It's time
Yeah.
to get to mashing. Time to get to mashing. It's time to get. You're supposed to give me a harmony, Jack.
Time to get to no.
That wasn't bad.
That was
So
terrible.
give me,
I went too high.
Time to get to mashing.
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 You actually started feeling it. Okay, do you want to mash, and then I'll add the other stuff?
I think I'll be better at this bit.
Yeah, you're strong. Get nice and mashed.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna crack 1 egg. You wanna crack another?
Yep. I can do it with one hand.
You can.
Oh no, I thought I could. I thought I could.
You almost
And I
had
I
me.
nearly did.
I was like, he's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, next we're gonna do the milk, just 1/2 cup.
Half a cup.
Is there a specific food that reminds you of being on the set of The Burbs?
I mean, we had great craft services. Taco trucks come in, sushi trucks, poke bowl trucks.
Oh my God, it's crazy.
It was actually really so fun.
You don't get that in the UK. If you're shooting in the UK, you're lucky if they give you lunch.
Why are they doing that? Is the budget low?
Yep.
Where's the pounds going?
Well, I don't know where the pounds are going, but they ain't going to the catering.
They going
That's
to the
for sure.
queen.
They're going to the queen.
She living good. Rest in peace.
She's dead.
Rest in peace.
Yes.
Rest in peace,
but,
girl.
You know, the king now.
Wow, the king, yeah, he over there with that money.
He's got all the
Wow.
money. He's got all that craft
Hey.
service money.
Now we need to melt a little bit of this butter, so I'm gonna put 2 tablespoons.
I'm meant to be mixing this, right?
Yep, you're doing right. And then we're just gonna heat this up a little bit, and I'm gonna put that in there, and then we're gonna add some honey. It's just like nice, like when you're cooking with somebody. There's like a bonding thing that happens.
Yeah.
I love this.
I love that. We should have done this before we started doing the Burbs, so that we would have really felt what it was like to be a married couple. Although cooking with my actual fiance is the most stressful thing in the world.
Yeah.
'Cause
I mean,
I'm-
I have nobody, so I don't know. But in theory, I'd imagine it'd be stressful.
In goes the melted butter.
You can do whatever you want with the honey here. I'm gonna feel the love of it and just get it like that. Now the next thing we're gonna do is add the dry ingredients to the wet ingredients.
Okay.
I just love this teamwork between us.
This is good.
I feel that we're a match. Did you ever watch that show, Perfect Match?
What's
Oh, I
perfect match?
love salacious dating TV. Imagine you and your person are having a bad time together, and y'all decide to go on a dating show
No.
where they put you in a house full of hot women,
No.
and her in the house with hot guys,
No.
and see if you make it.
No.
You're already doing bad without the hot people. Why would the hot people suddenly make you choose each other? That's just, you know, it's a
No,
setup.
that's a recipe for disaster.
It's a recipe for disaster.
I watched 3 hours of The Real Housewives of Potomac.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
You talking about the Grand Dame?
The Grand Dame.
The
I know.
Grand Dame.
It was just
Oh.
like a reality show, and then suddenly it's true crime. I'm used to watching like the Great British Bake Off, where the most drama they've ever had is someone left some custard out of the fridge.
Well, now you're watching some real
Now I'm
American
watching
TV.
real American reality television,
Oh, yeah.
and I want more.
Well, let's get this party on the road. This is a knife stove. Okay, New York Times. What's your favorite breakfast food?
I like savory. I normally have savory. Avocado on toast, bacon sandwich.
Did the Australians invent
Full English?
avocado on toast?
Did they?
I don't know. Somebody told me
Sounds
that.
like the kind of thing they might claim.
In Australia, they were like, that was us. Yeah. I wasn't gonna argue over it. You got it. You know. And what exactly is a full English breakfast?
Full English breakfast is bacon, sausages, eggs, baked beans, hash brown, fried bread, black pudding, which is like a sausage made of blood, a blood sausage. So there's 2 types of sausage on the plate. Just all of that, like piled high with a couple of bits of toast and a
I'm good,
builder's
sweetie.
tea. No?
Sounds like heartburn. Sounds like
heart
heart attack.
attack.
The American breakfast is, at best, and tell me if I'm wrong, it's like pancakes, eggs, and bacon.
Yeah.
Just, you know, it's a little bit less.
A little bit less. A little
You know
bit
what I
less
mean?
intense.
It's a little bit less intense, which is actually surprising for us.
Yes.
I feel like we should be the
You
ones
make
with-
up for it later in the day, to be fair, every other meal. And the side of pancakes as well is quite an alien concept. For
I
bread.
love the shade.
But that is not a side. That is a whole other breakfast.
Well, I guess you won't like Chicago's famous spaghetti and catfish.
Spaghetti and catfish.
Oh, yeah.
Together.
Together. Wow. Spaghetti is the side.
Spaghetti is the side.
Without a doubt.
Again, that's just 2 meals. Right.
Okay, I'm gonna start mine. Did you watch Sesame Street as a kid?
No, we didn't have Sesame Street.
What did you have?
Well, we did. I mean, it existed, but I didn't watch it.
But you didn't watch it.
No,
So what
I
did you
was just
watch?
reading books in my room.
Oh,
It's not true.
got it.
No, I was in a cupboard under the stairs.
Oh my gosh.
Before-
Is that when it started?
That's when it started, yeah. Oh, I
Oh
made
my
my way too
gosh,
big.
Yours looks crazy.
No,
What
it's
happened?
crazy, it's crazy.
What did you do it
Because I was
for?
distracted by thinking about being under the stairs.
Oh,
and then
sweetie.
I added too much.
Sweetie,
this is way
sweetie,
too big.
Sweetie, that's too large.
But what's happened with you? But
Mine's
yours is
just
too
petite.
small.
Mine's just...
Am I going to have to flip this? Oh no. Oh no.
Oh my
little
God,
over-eager.
You were just piling it,
I was
piling
just piling it
That
on.
was crazy. What was you
I
were
don't know.
expecting it to look like a real pancake.
Yeah.
That's the thing I forgot to note to you guys. This is not a regular pancake. So it's not gonna move and groove like the usual. You gotta be real careful with this one.
Now she tells me.
And it also, I mean, it takes much slower. Like everything about it is
Low and slow.
low and slow,
Oh,
very much so.
I'm hard and fast. With a hard and fast and a little over eager. Oh, it's burning. now as
Watching
well.
the, oh my gosh, it's smoking over there.
Oh God.
All right, mine isn't doing too bad. You're in trouble, boo.
Yeah. Oh no.
Oh, it actually doesn't look too bad. Let's see what we can do.
Okay.
Sometimes
Yeah,
you have
that's
to just
all
turn.
right.
It's actually not that bad.
Yeah.
It actually wasn't that bad at
That's
all.
fine.
I'm kind
That's
of
fine.
impressed with it.
What are your other go-to dishes that you make?
Well, I always try to figure out a way to do some of my dad's old dishes, but make them a little bit more health friendly, you know what I mean? A lot of times we could be heavy on the sugar, heavy on the butter, heavy on the flour. And so I made recently at home like cornbread and some catfish, fried catfish, but like air fried, and then like gluten-free batter and stuff like that. So I try to do a lot of his old school stuff, but you know, maybe a different twist.
How good is the air fryer?
The air fryer is excellent. It almost makes
fryer.
everything you do better in life.
So good.
Your show is about neighbor drama. Have you ever had your own neighbor drama?
I had my one neighbor. Let me tell you what this dude did. He wanted me to get rid of my tree.
Yeah.
So I said no. And he says, your gate is about 5 feet into my side. Now, I won't let this mean much.
No.
You won't have to change your gate or anything if you just get rid of this tree. How did he know my fence was there? Like, he really found one thing. I couldn't believe this dude.
No.
I let him cut the tree.
You let him cut the tree?
I hope he don't watch this.
I hope you don't have a New York Times subscription.
Ooh, it's all good, brother.
Maybe you can bring him round some sweet potato pancakes as a peace offering.
I was kind of impressed because I was like, that's pretty but also, you know,
If you were to show each other around your hometowns, what's the first thing you'd eat?
Oh, you know what? A pizza puff.
A pizza puff?
You ever had a pizza puff?
No. What's a pizza puff?
Ooh, it's a pizza in a puff.
A pizza in a puff?
It's a puff that's a pizza inside.
I don't think I even know what a puff is.
We used to have one right down the street. We just go outside. It's like one of the little things. You're like, hey, gotta get on a pizza puff.
And you bite into it and it's hotter than the surface of the sun.
You know your mouth do the thing. What about me in your town?
I would probably
Fish and
have
chips?
Fish and chips. Or, no, I think I'd probably, a Sunday roast.
Now what's that?
You go to a pub normally, a couple of pints, and then you have a lovely Sunday roast. You have beef or chicken, all of the trimmings, roast potatoes, carrots.
I live for the trimmings.
A Yorkshire pudding, which we can make gluten-free.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then you sort of have to be rolled out of there because it, it takes you 3 hours to eat. This one's looking much better. What do you listen to when you're cooking?
Oldies, honestly. Like, I'm talking about outstanding. Outstanding. The Gap Band, a great Chicago band. I'll turn Whitney on.
Yeah, I was going to say, there were some days on set.
You know that's my girl.
We had some Whitney.
I love Whitney. Love her dearly. Why is your bowl over here so
Well,
huge?
I thought it would make it look smaller
That was smart.
if I put it on a bigger plate, but it hasn't really
This
worked.
one's cute.
It looks better from afar. If you get up close, it is structurally compromised.
I feel pretty good about mine.
Jack, if Keke was a food dish, what would she be?
A paella.
Oh my gosh, that's delicious.
It's delicious.
You think that's me?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
It's warming and vibrant and tasty.
Nutritious if you put sardines in there.
Nutritious if you put sardines in it.
I love a paella.
A paella.
That's very nice of
Yeah.
you.
It's good.
You are.
Be very careful.
I think you're cheddar and broccoli soup.
Cheddar and broccoli soup.
You're very, very cozy. You're delicious no matter the time of day. You know, hearty.
Hearty.
Hearty, good for the soul.
Yeah.
Cheddar and broccoli soup.
But might make
which
you a
I
bit
love.
gassy.
Might get a couple tooths out, depending on how
Might force out a couple of
lactose you are.
tooths, yeah.
So, something to tell you guys at home. You really want to be able to cook this on low as you can. Do expect there to be a little bit more tenderness on the inside than you would for other pancakes. It's a little bit more decadent than the average, but delicious. What do you think?
Absolutely delicious.
You're not mad at it.
I'm not mad at that at all. That's really nice.
If you were going on a first date with me, what would you think of me as the girl after this? Like, would you be like,
I
she
would
can
be-
cook, I like her.
I would be impressed, yeah. I would be very, very impressed. And I'd be like, this is someone that, like the pancakes, has tenderness on the inside.
Oh, you're smooth, Jack. Hey. Sweet potato pancakes.
Although if you serve that one, I would probably run a mile.
That one looks so scary.
Goodbye. Thank you, New York Times Cooking.
All the Burbs episodes are streaming now on Peacock. Y'all better watch them.
Enjoy them with some sweet potato pancakes, maybe.
The link to this recipe is in the description.